How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to the Cosmic Ray channel. I am your host, Cosmic Ray. I just want to talk a little something like I guess, Cosmic Ray experience. Let's just go with that, the Cosmic Ray experience. So, with the Cosmic Ray experience, it's going to be kind of more of like just an experience I want to share with you all. Now, you can take the experience however you want, but I want you to kind of incorporate into your daily lives, as in how this can reflect back to you or how it could resonate with you. And I don't say this as a boost to an ego by all any means of any time of like going forward when I talk about these stories. It's just more of like it's almost like the story time of Cosmic Ray, but more of not like the darker side or anything of that, but more of like some true things that have actually happened. Well, they're all true, like my story times, but I meant like a 3D like true type of thing. Of just a normal type of experience of an everyday. Sometimes it can be synchronistic stuff, sometimes it's not. As I was going to work, I stopped. I'm going through this thing of like this, trying to change it so not every single day is exactly the same, right? In a very repetitive nature. Now, if you're obviously starting a program of something or a routine of something, that's okay. Stick to your routine. That's not what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Is like if it's not like a healthy situation or healthy or safety, and you're doing something every single freaking day, not like brushing your teeth or going to the bathroom or showering or something. But if you're like just doing something and it's just like monotonous to a point, it's just like blah. You got to change it up. When you start changing things up, things will start changing your perspective on things. Do something new every day. So I was at work, but I got there early for some reason, and I had this book with me, which was usually I don't read before I go to work, or I don't even usually read at work. I always do it at home if anything. But I'm starting to read, which is already more so like my new thing. But even more now, I am reading like before I go into work, when I have time. And this time I did that. Now, if I were to go into work at the time I pulled up, I would have maybe like 30 minutes ish, to before I actually had to start my shift. And who knows if I would have missed what I'm about to tell you. But for whatever reason, I felt compelled to read. I was reading this book. Has to do a little bit with my spiritual awakening story. It has to do with some guy who is not a believer in a sense, and he's been like interviewing a bunch of people about spiritualism, about a little bit about Jesus, if you will. And yeah, I found a lot of similarities of what I was going through with what's been going on in this book, which is kind of amazing to me now. This book was recommended to me by someone who is of a Christian type of faith. And then usually I would, back in the day, I would be like, middle finger to you, I don't want this, but obviously I'm a different person now. So I'm more of I was open. I'm like, all right, give it a shot. So I was reading this book, right? I'm like, all right, getting done, just finding many ways to connect. And then I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. As I'm walking along, see like a small group of people right in front of the exit. And it's kind of weird because usually I go through the exit to get in as my entrance. But then I saw these people. I'm like, huh. I like looked back. I'm like, what is this? What is going on? And then someone who's in a kind of like not a wheelchair, but almost like a wheelchair. It's like it's got a seat on it, and it does push also as well. But they got a seat, so they're sitting down, hunched over. There's a crowd, a small crowd around, and this person's having a hard time breathing. Obviously, as someone who's like a supervisor type, person there, or management, I was like, oh, I got to do something, but I figured someone else was already there. Kind of walked around, and then I see this cop car on the side. I'm like, oh, I'll go inside. I'm like, where's the cop? I don't see anything. Ran back outside. I see a cop on the other side, a different part of a store across the parking lot or shopping center. And oh wow, this song's on. Okay, sorry, random synchronicity of me talking about something. Whew, okay, man, sorry. So, anyways, I went and I saw the cop, and I was like, officer, please, I need your help. This woman is, having a hard time breathing, I'm assuming. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, I'm so sorry to tell you this. It was just one of those, like, I just came in and, I don't know what was going on. And I'm all, but you know what? And I looked at him right in the eye, and he looked at me. I go, but for whatever reason, I had to be here and you had to be here. And he shook his head like, I know what you mean. Like, yes, this was all for a reason. That's what he said. Like, this was all for a reason. I'm like, yes. Like, just immediately, him and I, like, man, I can tell you story time with Cosmic Ray about me and cops. Anyways, so it was just one of those connections. First time, I think, ever. This connection with this cop. And so I was like, all right. And I just walked in, and then I was like, hey, everyone, it's cool. This person's going to be taken care of. Everything was good, right? It's like, yes, all right. Good thing about timing and synchronicity, right? Um, on the way there, I've had these synchronicities of, it was, I think it was like 2:14. I was on my way to work. I started at 3, and it was like 2:14. Now, no, it was about 2:14, and then when I was listening to, it was right before I knew what time it was. I was listening to the song, and I was looking at the track of the CD that's in the car, right? Of course, not using MP3. I'm guess I'm old fashioned, but it said on the disc, it said it was at 2 minutes, right? And that's all I see was that it said at 2 minutes, and then it was on um, the track 14. 2:14. I looked up at the clock. It was 2:14. I'm like, ah ha ha! I saw what you did there. Saw what you did there. And something else happened too at work, right? I mean, that was before I got there. Then that thing with the cop, and then when I was at work, I started seeing things about like my birth date, my birth year. Saw a lot of like different things about 7-Eleven, which is my birth weight. And I realized later on in life it has to do with like my path number and all this other stuff about myself and my lucky numbers and other things, with other numbers that I have too. It's not just those, but anyways. And it was just so funny that I just started seeing like 1982 for like certain prices. I'm like, oh, you're getting 1982 back. That's funny. 1982. What kind of effing number is that, right? And then it was just other little things, right? Well, that's one story. Another story was I was helping a guest out, and he was needing some help with pictures or something. I don't know. I was doing a bunch of things, and I was like, scrambling, my head hurts, and I help out someone with their picture on a phone that I don't use because I don't use that type of phone system. So I was like, oh, okay, and I tried to help them out as best as I could. I really did try so hard, and I just wanted to say, what, like, let me turn on the lights, and what, my hair is not done. I don't give a blank. Okay. Whew, sorry. Okay, so this person was really cool, and if it means anything to you, they're a different like nationality, different of all things. And you know me, I don't give a crap about race. As in like everyone's beautiful. So I just meant that because for those of you who do need to know that kind of stuff, just to let you know that there's this connection amongst everyone and anyone. Doesn't matter what you are, what race or anything. You can find these connections of life and love, and it does not matter. So this is very important. That's only the reason why I bring up that race. Okay. Otherwise, it's all about love. And what I do want to say is that this individual was beautiful. They started talking about like health, but about to someone else, about like I think to his mom or to someone, how when you work out, people think of like the long term. They think about like, oh, now I gotta do this for a week. I gotta do this for next week. And he was just trying to explain no. And it was funny. I finished his sentence. I didn't mean to do that because he was talking out loud for everyone, but like he was more talking to this one person. And I was like, you live it moment by moment. When you do your workouts, what you do is you focus on that workout, and when you're done, cross it out on the calendar. And you see, he was saying the same thing. You cross it out on the calendar, and that's it. The next day, focus on the workout. You don't think, oh, tomorrow I got to do this. Oh, then the next day, then, oh, God, I don't want to do that. Right? That's not how you want to do it in anything, really. But we're talking more about working out specifically. And him and I just like clicked. We were just, and then I was helping him. I had to go physically like next to him, right? And he got like these like bees on, which is funny because I got my spiritual gear on, but he's got something a little different. And I think it was more for specifically, I want to say more like kind of for his culture, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to sound like mean when I'm saying that. I mean that from the heart. It is somewhat spiritual, but like when you look at like certain beads, you can tell like what's quote unquote, like part of like the crystals or gemstones. You know what I mean? This wasn't necessarily gemstones, so it was just like a bracelet. You don't really see a lot of guys wear bracelets. I don't, and I'm in a public place, so I'm like the only guy I know usually that wears this stuff. So when I saw this guy, and he's like a guy who works out, is very, um, maybe not someone you would think that would, that you would. Something just happened. I have to rewatch this video. I don't know if something just happened about my light sword. Are you guys messing with me? I love this story. Like I really love this story. You know that. You know what I'm about to share. I love the story. All right, I love this story. By the way, I'm about to tell you. So, anyways, I gotta tee it up, is what people say. On the golf course. I don't golf. Anyways, they actually tee it up for them. So anyways, this guy was talking. I was looking at him. He's got this spiritual, like, well, I feel somewhat slight spiritual, but not necessarily like the quote unquote real spiritual gear. He's got some bracelets. He's got his necklace, and he's got like a bullet, right? Me, like I'm wearing, I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's a tiger's eye, the type of stone or gemstone or crystal, whatever you want to call it. And I got some other like gemstones, or I got some other chakra stones, as well as tiger's eye, and as all like all around. Well, he was like, talking about stuff, and he goes, and I was like, oh man, dude, I love that. I love what you're wearing. Those are cool. We started talking about it, and I was like, oh, cool. And I don't usually touch guys, and I was like, oh, all right, cool, man. And then like he goes, says something. He's all, hey, man. And he's all, I just want to say thank you for your help. He goes, God bless you. Now, if you know anything about me, that was the one thing that irked me as a kid, because I was Buddhist. So someone's like, even when it came to the Pledge of Allegiance, when they say, under God, one nation, under God, I go, one nation. And my friend always did this. He always goes like this, because he knew that I was never going to say under God. And he'd go like, one nation, and he goes, and I'm like, under, and I wouldn't say it. I would never say it, right? And then so every time someone sneezes, I hear, God bless you, God bless you. I'm like, okay, God bless you. I don't know what the fuck that means. And always sneeze and someone say bless you. I'm like, don't do that. Are you a priest or whatever? Are you gonna bless me? Woo, right? So it was this wondrous thing that when he said God bless you, or it was like, God bless you, I was like, it felt great to hear that. I was like, God bless you too. Well, bless you, man. God bless. I don't usually say that kind of stuff to people. Like, I don't know. Like, it felt that felt different. Oh man, hold on. Oh, I'm just getting something inside. Oh, so this story gets so much better. Woo! You know what? I'm just gonna let it flow. So I was kind of touched. I was like, we like shared some type of moment, right? It was weird. Not weird. It was beautiful. And I was like, yes, like this is great. Like I can't believe like we got this like thing going. Like this is cool. Like maybe some people on the outside wouldn't think that we have a connection at all or anything, right? Upon two people, and the fact that we have like this connection, I'm like, yes, this is amazing. And then in the meantime, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then we set ways, and it's like, hey, man, you take care. And then later, when he was the exit the story way later, he was like, hey, man, you take care. And like, kind of like did the fist bump, and I was like, boom, that was it. And everyone's like, what? You know? And it was kind of cool. Well, it was even cooler that the next day, I'm at work, going through trials and tribulations at work, and I still tried so hard not to let things mess with me, right? Tried so hard, like, oh. Well, this gentleman, right? I see him again, and then it was weird. It's like he just walked past, right? And he goes like, Raymond, and then like, and I didn't even know. I was like a dog, like, "Arr?" Like what? What? Was someone say my name? So he's like Raymond, and I was like, I looked up, I'm like, oh hey, how you doing? And then he's like, dude, nothing much, man. And he goes like, and he puts his hand out. I'm like, did the fist bump, and he's like, hey, I want to give you something. He takes something off his wrist, right? And he has a friend with him. They look like they were got done working out. They're like all buff and stuff. He gives me this thing. Now, I think this is awesome as F. It's black, right? It's not necessarily like any like a gemstone that I know of or anything like that. So I'm guessing these are just like just black beads. But it's like gold, and it's got a crown and gold right there, and it's got like a little thing on the opposite end that's got like a little like gold type of thing. Anyways, so for me, like when I wear my spiritual gear, usually I got like other things here too, and I usually keep it next to my selenite lamp for extra power, to kind of reboost and re-energize. This thing is fucking great. And he goes, hey, I want you to have it. I was like, what? You're gonna give that to me? Like I was, look, I try to be nice to people, okay? I'm not saying no one's ever nice to me, because I got family members that do that and friends. I guess I never got this reciprocation of life from a lot of people. And for something like that, this guy was wearing, and he goes, hey, Zol, no, seriously, Zol, you know what? That girl that I was telling you about who makes these, she's going to come. She actually wanted to make me something new. He goes, I think this is actually a perfect moment. As I'm here, he's like, dude, you made an awesome comment that I don't usually get to hear a lot from people. And the fact that you like this, you seem like you like this so much. And it's got a cool crown, like a king, right? Now, when I was born in this place called King County. Yes, Martin Luther King County. They just call it King County for short in Seattle, Washington. And it's called King County. And I think it fits perfectly. King. And lately, you want to know something else that's weird? I've been listening to a lot of Modest Yahoo, that song King Without a Crown, or, where they always talk about, being king without a crown. I heard that right before all this stuff happened. And this is like that synchronistic timing, everything. Like, what's going on, right? Like, as you can see, lights flashing over here. So I love this thing, right? This thing is amazing. Like, oh, it's fantastic. Ow. Um, it's like I don't even want to take it off, unless or if I go somewhere, I always want to have it on. But anyways. So it's just one of those things. I just I wanted to tell that to people and tell it to you all, about this and about my moment or my experience about the human condition, about people, that there are some good people out there. And you want to know something? Oh, wow, I didn't get to tell you the best part. So when he left, right, I was like, hey, man, bless you. And he goes, no, my friend, you and I already had this exchange. He said this in a nice way. I know it may sound bad, he goes, no, my friend, you and I have already had this exchange. You and I both know. And he looked above, right? Because I know that's the easiest way to everyone to understand, like this God, universe, whatever, right? So he goes, you and I already did this exchange. We already know. He goes, you and I already know. And I was like, oh my God, like, like, it's just like made me feel like, dude, you have no idea. Like, oh, let me get your number and like, we can talk. But anyways, it was one of those, I had like this crazy moment that I normally don't get, with people. It was just one of those. It felt wonderful. It felt wonderful when that happened. My day was lit. Like it was just. I felt the greatest. The rest of the day, like it felt awesome. Like the day was just it only could have been more better if my kids just happened to be next to me at that time or something. It couldn't have been much better. It was one of those perfect days. And it felt great. I never had one of those really at work, so it felt great. It felt awesome seeing that gentleman. And I'm sure that guy would never see these videos or anything like that. But I just want to say that out loud that guy did make an impact on me. He did make an impact and made me realize more about my spiritual gifts, and that like I was able to recognize someone else because I knew there was something different within him, within me. I'll be honest, the only time I've ever had that happen, ever, on someone, of having like an exchange of like this thing, besides having synchronicities with some of you cosmic surfers lately, but like besides that, I'm talking about like I've had that with a Hyoka, with another Hyoka. I've had these kind of like exchanges of like once I'm in a room, I'm telling you, it's like that Highlander thing where like you're all wah, 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 like all of a sudden someone's got the same thing as you. Like that's the only time is when I'm with around a Hyoka, is when I know is like I'm around another Hyoka. That's the only other time I ever got that, and I couldn't go more in depth in his mind to know if he was or not. But when he said about the whole spiritual thing, about this oneness, like about like we already know our connection. I was like, dude, I'm not even a church person, but like I'm feeling this love. I'm feeling like the energy of life. Like, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, it felt great. So to that individual, he definitely impacted my life, just for that moment. And well, I mean, for the rest of my life, but like, for that moment for sure, so Cosmic Surfers, I just wanted to share that with you, as this cosmic part of like the cosmic ray experience or the cosmic experience, life, just like you guys are going through. Please share, your cosmic ray experience or your cosmic you experience, or what I like to call my cosmic surfer experience, right? You guys are all cosmic surfers, and we're all going through in this universe, miraculously, and we're still here. So I love you for doing it. I love you for being you. Thank you for being you, and keep riding these cosmic waves of life. You got this. You got this. You fucking got this. Take care. Good night.